Jaya Rama Rama Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Rama Rama Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Rama Rama Jaya Kunja Bihari Kapijana Vala Jaya Girivarari Jaya Girivarari Kapijana Vala Jaya Girivarari Jaya Girivarari Yashodanandana Jaya Vratjana Ranjana Jaya Vratjana Ranjana Yashodanandana Jaya Vratjana Ranjana Jaya Vratjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari 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 Jaya Rama Rama Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Rama Rama Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Rama Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Rama Rama Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Om Vishnu Paraparamahams Parivrakachaja Astuttara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananda Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Ras Thakur Ki Jai Prem se Go Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaur Bhaktarinda Ki Jai Samavera Bhaktarinda Ki Jai Gaur Premananda. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this is from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 3, text 22. Shall I just read it? Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam varteva cha karmani. Na, not, me, mine, partha, O son of Pritha, asti, there is, kartavyam, prescribed duty, trishu, in the three, lokeshu planetary systems kinchana any no nothing anavaptam wanted avaptavyam to be gained varte I am engaged eva certainly cha also karmani in prescribed duty. Translation: O son of Pritha, there is no work prescribed for me within all three planetary systems. Nor am I in want of anything, nor have I a need to obtain anything. And yet, I am engaged in prescribed duties. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is described in a Vedic literature as follows. The Supreme Lord is the controller of all the other controllers, and He is the greatest of all the diverse planetary leaders. Everyone is under His control. All entities are delegated with particular power only by the Supreme Lord. They are not supremes themselves. He is also worshipped by all the demigods and is the supreme director of all directors. Therefore, He is transcendental to all kinds of material leaders and controllers and is worshipable by all. There is no one greater than Him, and He is the supreme cause of all causes. He does not possess bodily form like that of an ordinary living entity. There is no difference between His body and His soul. He is absolute. All His senses are transcendental. Any one of His senses can perform the action of any other sense. Therefore, no one is greater than Him or equal to Him. His potencies are multifarious, and thus His deeds are automatically performed as natural sequence. So since everything is in full opulence in the personality of Godhead and is existing in full truth, there is no duty for the Supreme Personality of Godhead to perform. One who must receive the results of work has some designated duty, but one who has nothing to achieve within the three planetary systems certainly has no duty. And yet, Lord Krishna is engaged on the battlefield of Kurukshetra as the leader of the Kshatriyas because the Kshatriyas are duty-bound to give protection to the distressed. Also, He is above all the regulations of the revealed scriptures. He does not do anything that violates the revealed scriptures. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutala Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swam Iti Namne Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Srinyavari Pashkati Desatane. O son of Pritha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary system, nor am I of want anything, nor have I need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. So this chapter of Bhagavad Gita deals with action, karma yoga. Karma means action. Krishna is previously describing that first of all, we cannot stop action. Action is a symptom of consciousness, and consciousness is a symptom of life. Even if somebody tries desperately to stop acting, that's also an action. You know, even somebody say, no, I'm not working, no action, I'm begging. Well, that's quite an action. You know, I can give you examples of beggars. I don't know here in Ljubljana, but Prague is full of beggars. Here also. And the methods they develop to get the money from people are quite amazing actually sometimes. They make obeisances with a cup, you know. Yeah. I think they learn it from devotees. Or I saw a boy in Prague sitting on the pavement and he had a stick. And he was banging with a stick on the pavement like that all the time. And there was a sign, I am blind, I need money for eye operation. Bang, 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 bang. I mean, I was distributing books, I look at him, 1 hour he was going bang, 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 2 hours he was going bang, 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 bang. Really, how do you do that, you know? He was really skillful, just to attract people by the sound. And whoever was stupid and gave him money didn't realize that in the evening his father showed up in a quite fancy car, I have to say. He opened the door of the car and the boy got up. He could see perfectly well. And then he got in a car and drove home with the father. That was his work. So even a beggar, cheater, whoever, has to work. Work means action. And then there's another picture, this, that people think, no, I am free, I don't follow any duty. I don't have any duty to follow. I'm a free man. I'm coming from a generation of freedom lovers, you know, hippies or whatever. I was not hippie, I was not qualified. I didn't took any drugs and I didn't chase any girls, but then you are already disqualified from the hippie movement. So, you know, but the idea of freedom was there all the time. Freedom, 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 you know, yeah. And people came together in huge crowds and screaming, freedom, freedom, freedom. Good idea, but the wrong place. Because we always have to perform some duties. We are duty bound, one way or another. At least we are duty bound to this body. You have to feed it, you have to wash it, you have to, you know. And what is the body giving back to you? People think, oh, fun. Nah. It's birth, old age, death and disease. That's the program. And that's not fun. Neither of these four things is a fun. So you think, I'm enjoying, I'm feeding the body. What is it? What the body is giving you back? Stool. Just simple as that. Not very enjoyable, really. So the deal with the body is not but we are duty bound, we must. We don't want to sleep sometimes, we must. You know, even a very determined people, they go, no, I will not sleep. Actually, as a students, we used to be such intense speculators, we forgot to sleep. We were spending nights sitting together just speculating. Everybody got an idea, and wow, here, blah, 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 blah. We forgot to sleep. But actually, we had to sleep. So after one night speculating, we slept day and night non-stop. You have to fulfill your quota. You must sleep. It's boring. What's the use of sleeping? It's a wasted time. You're just lying there completely at the mercy of the material energy. You know, anybody can come and do anything to your body and you are just... People deny this. They don't see it even. They don't want to see it. They get, think, oh, sharing bed with somebody is an interesting idea, isn't it? Especially when it's a male and female. I don't want to go in details, but as one of my godbrothers, while taking part in a marriage, they asked him to give some blessing for the marriage. He was a sannyasi. So, and then they asked me, can you bless the couple, say something at the marriage? And he said, yes. So I thank you that you are finally realizing that you have to get married. That's actually an honorable step to do. And then he turned to the husband, he said, and I hope your wife is not snoring. It was not very romantic, really. But men snore. Wives do snore too, by the way, yeah. So, dogs snore. Everybody's snoring in this world. You ever heard a dog snoring? They are very loud. So, this is the romantics. At the end, everybody just... They don't put pictures, like if there is a political campaign. There is never a picture of the political leader snoring. Because this is embarrassing, who wants to... you can snore with me, vote for me, But they do. All these big men you see walking on the street, all the beautiful women, they walk on the street. They have to lay down and sleep. They ask, one reporter asked a really beautiful, famous, beautiful woman, how do you manage to be always so beautiful? And the lady was quite humorous and quite honest. She said, me? Beautiful? You should see me when I wake up in the morning. You know, that picture is not known. So, you know, so much for the beauty and so much for the, you know, not performing any duties. We must. We will be. Therefore, Vedic society is regulated. Everybody has a duty to fulfill. Everybody. Varnashrama system means everybody has a duty, but it's not all. For that, he has to get something back. So what is the result of his performing his duty? He will be protected. So he can perform his duty. Prabhupada mentions in a purport here, that's the function of a kshatriya. Kshatriya. Everybody. Shudra, follow duty. How? Service. You know. Yeah. And for what? What he gets in return? Absolute protection. He gets actually, in a Vedic society, Shudras don't get even money. You know why? They don't need it. They get whatever they need. They must get it. Dress, place to live, food, everything. And for that, they work. No money. Because as soon as you give Shudra money, he will buy something funny. Something he doesn't need. So they are like children. Yeah, they will be taken care of. And then, what is the duty of a Vaishya? You could say, honest business. Prabhupada was very realistic. He said, there is no honest business. Sorry. You know, Vaishya means he will cheat. It's a fact. If somebody says, sorry, my dear sir, I don't make any profit on you, he's cheating. Of course he must make profit, otherwise how will he survive? And Prabhupada was, in one sense, he was working within the Vaishya community, so he knew it must be a cheating, of course. So what is the duty for a Vaishya? Charity. Just give. We don't ask where you got the money from, but share it, give it, you know. And actually a real Vaishya loves to do this. Even big mafiosis. Mafia actually is not a Kshatriya thing, it's a Vaishya thing. You know? Yeah? Money, 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 get the money. You know? Money, money. They will do everything for money, mafia, everything. You know? So, yeah? And what do you do with the money? In South America, they manage the whole national economy. When a mafioso gets finally hunted down and goes in prison, the whole nation is moaning. What shall we do now? Because even the biggest mafiosi, he wants to have a control, that's a fact, by money. But he is opening schools, he is opening sport places, he will take care of you. If you are loyal to the mafiosi, he will take care of you. This is a Vaishya logic, you know. But they create a state of dependency. You must be dependent on them. Then they go, don't worry, I will take care of you. You know, I have a problem with this man, don't worry, don't worry. This is a famous mafia statement. I will give him a proposal which he cannot refuse. That means he puts a gun on his head. Simple as that. That's a proposal you cannot refuse. No. This is a mafia logic. So yeah. And then we go higher to Kshatriya. It's just duty. Duty is a man who works totally on order. He will not make one independent step. He can make very heavy steps. He can kill. He can obstruct people. He will use physical force, but only when he is ordered. Completely controlled. Ordered by whom? By Brahmana. A Kshatriya without the Brahmana is just a Nazi, just a, dictator, all completely out of control. And a Brahmana without a Kshatriya is just a speculator, you know that? Prabhupada said that. I was personally present in France when Prabhupada said, without the combination of Brahmana and Kshatriya, we will not be able to spread this movement. It's a very serious point. Then Prabhupada said this movement is supposed to train Brahmanas. Well, let's find some. Sorry, there are not many. The higher you go, the less it gets. Shudra, Vaishya, no problem. But Kshatriya, Brahmana, nah. Principle-minded people, absolute principle. Actually, Kshatriya, Brahmana are the same, in principle. The one is speaking the truth, and the other one is ready to die for the truth. The one is saying what to do, and the other one is doing that. They are completely identical. Even their lifestyle is very different. You know, Brahmana, they are the lovers of austerity. They love it. Sometimes a little bit too much, I have to say. You know, they go, there's another fasting coming. Okay? You know, they like to collect knowledge. Sometimes too much knowledge. Sometimes they know so many things that nobody understands what they are talking about. You know, yeah? It can happen. Now, I don't want to get into it. I am not a Brahmana. So I just, I'm very respectful when I find a real Brahmana. But I'm also aware that there is also a Maya for him. There is a Brahmanical Maya. You know, you collect knowledge. It's like collecting post stamps, Yeah? You go, you know more. You know this shloka? Wow. You know this book? No. I know the book. It's a foul book. So therefore, one of the destructive principles for devotional service is to over-collect even knowledge. Even it's true, but it's not relevant. Knowledge in Krishna consciousness means you know what you are supposed to know. That's all. And there are different levels of knowledge, of course, because there is different need. But you don't over-collect. Most people don't have that problem because they don't know much and they are not even interested. But Brahmana, he is like, wow. But here is another function to a Brahmana which is absolutely essential. He must teach. Teaching. That means he must share the knowledge with others. And he must give the knowledge in a way it can be followed. And here we come again to Srila Prabhupada, who was the supreme Brahmana, besides being supreme many things, but he was a supreme Brahmana. He always made sure that what he is saying can be applied. And he always was very practical. One devotee, he got so shocked when he realized, he said, Prabhupada, I'm just a simple man. But when you speak, I can understand everything. It's amazing. And Prabhupada smiled and he said, Lord Chaitanya make the process very easy. Because when you listen to the logic of Prabhupada, how he transmitted to others, even the knowledge is incredible. We spoke today in the morning how amazing Bhagavatam can be. But Prabhupada put it in a way that we can do it actually. Yeah, we can follow. The simple. Prabhupada make it simple for the simple ones. And then you have the complicated ones, they try to make it complicated again. Because we are conditioned by the concept that simple means primitive. Oh, it's absolutely wrong. The most genius, even in a scientific world, the most genius discoveries are so simple that nobody could discover it. It's right away in front of your nose. They couldn't see it. Archimedes, this guy, Archimedes' law. Now this is garbage because the law was there before. It's Krishna's law, sorry. But when scientists discover something, they think this is my law. What a garbage, he didn't discover the law, it was there before. He just found it. There is something which is always repeating itself. So Archimedes, he was crawling in a bathing tub, because they were bathing, Greeks. And then the water came up. And then he went out of the bathing tub and the water went down. So he discovered the mass of my body is pushing up, And then he was, Eureka, I found it. Very genius observation. How many people are crawling in a bathing tub a day? And nobody discovers one damn thing. You know how penicillin was discovered? It's a very common medicine. It's a natural medicine. It's a fungus. It's a mushroom. And you know how that mushroom was discovered? By a scientist, by a doctor, who was experimenting in his laboratory. He was so messy, he was so dirty, and he was so muchy. He was so dirty that there was actually fungus growing on a floor between the instruments. And being a scientist, he was going, that's an interesting fungus. Mushroom. You can imagine how dirty a room must be before the mushroom grows in a corner. That was his working place. So he picked up the mushroom, put it under the microscope, experimented with that, and there was penicillin. Now how many mushrooms people see and how many dirty rooms we saw, nobody gets the idea what to do with it. No, he got the idea. That's always interesting. Where do the ideas come from? People go, this is my idea. No. You got, and they even say it. Listen what they are saying. I got an idea. Immediately our question is, got from whom, you rascal? Who gave you the idea? And they go, I have an idea. Where that came from? If I would go to your car and say, I got your car, you will say, no, this is my car. And you are right, this is your car. But where is the idea coming from? Whose idea was that? People don't think like this. They're so stupid. They just take things for granted. Okay, it's here, I take it. There's a mushroom here, I take it. There's an idea here, I take it. Nobody asks where this inspiration and the intelligence behind the whole thing comes from. Simple. And then you say it's coming from God, and they go, some religion, huh? No religion. Simple logic. Because if you don't know the origin of things, you don't know one damn thing. You'll be always confused by the reaction. You don't know what stimulated the action, and you'll be always confused by the reaction. Hey, where is it coming from? Because you don't know the origin. Therefore, they are always, oh my God, how could this happen? You will never see a real devotee like that. Never. He knows not even a blade of grass can move without Krishna's permission. So there is no such a thing like accidental. Prabhupada hated that word. He said, I will immediately give you accidentally a slap in the face. You slapped me. Nah, it was just an accident. And now I will kick you. You kicked me. No, just accidental. My leg was moving like this. It's all accidental, But there was another word Prabhupada really hated. That was merging. I have a personal report from his servant who was cutting his hair in India. He was shaving him. And then he said, Prabhupada, now we will take the hair and merge them with Ganga. And to throw them in a Ganga. Prabhupada opened his head, merging? Never. He immediately responded to the word merging. It's another illusory concept. Nothing is merging with anything. There's always a individual thing. Yeah, many individual are mixing with other individual, but it's always individual. Nobody is merging with one damn thing. And scientists know that. They don't believe in that there's an atom and neutron, proton, neutron. It's all individual things. They know that even oxygen is consisting of molecules. It's all individual things. But we don't see it, of course. We think, oh, oxygen is everywhere, it's just merged something. No, it's not. It's all very personal and it's all very individual. Everything you see. Nothing is merged and nothing is accidental. But they are always using these words all the time. Let's merge and it's just accident. Accident happened. No. It was precisely destined and calculated. There is no accident whatsoever. There is a choice, yes. You can make choices, human form. In a human form you can make choices. You can go, I will do like this or like that. There's a choice. What happens thereafter, that's no more choice. You can say, I will touch fire or I will touch water. Different result. That's my choice. But the result is not anymore up to me. I get burned or I get wet. It's not up to me to change it. No. It's very simple to see this. Daily we can look around and see all these things happening. Nothing is accidental. People come to you and they go, I hate you. That's not an accident. He was inspired to tell me he hates me. Who knows what happened? Maybe I hated him in a last lifetime, or now he's coming back, paying back to me. I could go now more in detail, becoming even autobiographic, but I tell you, when you look in your life, when you look back, you discover there was never an accident. It was all precise. And when Krishna gets really involved, like in a case of a devotee, in a materialist it's mechanical. Krishna goes, okay, action, reaction, bap, 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 bap. But in a case of a devotee who is actually wants to go back home, back to Godhead, Krishna goes, are you serious? Yeah, I want to go back home, back to God. I want to be with you. Then Krishna goes, okay, then we will make some adjustments here. And these Krishna's adjustments are so amazing. Even a devotee cannot see, why is this happening to me? Krishna knows. And it's not always funny, I tell you. Yeah? Like, why is Krishna destroying this? I was using it for him and he destroyed it. No, because you don't need it. Krishna will take it away. Something which could potentially create attachment. Because Krishna is actually only keen on one point. So we don't get attached. Otherwise, we can have anything we want. There are rich devotees of Krishna. There are poor devotees of Krishna. You can say, oh, he is rich, he must be attached. No. I know rich devotees. Not many. Why are most devotees poor? That's Krishna's mercy. Because he goes, you have nothing to get attached to because you have nothing. But there is always something. Prabhupada said even a sannyasi can get attached to his danda and to his water, kamandalu, to his water pot. Attachment is funny sometimes. This is really. Or he can get attached to his image. I am like this. There's also attachment. Therefore, like example, didn't you notice? As soon as you become prominent in a material world, you get hard time, mostly. And don't be mistaken, all these famous people who are celebrated and appreciated by so many, they don't have a good time. They're all miserable. I remember meeting George Harrison. I met him only twice or something like that. Beatles. You know how miserable Beatles were? Therefore, George Harrison was chanting because he was so miserable. The Beatles were saying, we were reading about in the newspaper, in the media, it was a big campaign about the Beatles. We were thinking, this is like reading about somebody else. Because people project into you ideas what you should be, and you become like the public property, but it's not you. Mostly famous people are very lonely people, because nobody takes it. I remember we were managing a restaurant in Stockholm, and we got on a certain point when we fixed up the place a little bit and this, we got a special customers, famous people. famous singers or something like this. And he was going, hey, we have this famous singer in a restaurant there. One of these guys in Sweden, he was called Dileva. He dressed even like Jesus almost. He was always like, esoterically minded. But he was very, very popular amongst young people. And he liked to come to our restaurant. You know why? Because as devotees, we didn't care a damn who he is. You said, hey, Dileva is you. Okay, you want some prasadam? And he liked that. He said, that's the only place in Stockholm I can eat peacefully. Because everywhere I go, people go, oh, Dileva, can I have an autogram, please? I cannot even eat. Ambarish Prabhu, the grandson of Mr. Ford, I met him in Delhi airport. That's many years ago. He arrived in India to finally get some break from all this Ford, business and And he arrived in India just to go to Vrindavan and chant Hare Krišna. Actually, very simple devotee. Very nice devotee. He said, how did they got the news in India that I'm on that airplane? I get out of the airplane, there's a bunch of reporters. Mr. Ford, so is Ford going to invest in India? Yes. Money. He said, I cannot get even on the toilet. This is too much. Very miserable, actually. It's very miserable to be famous. You have no peace, you have no privacy, nothing. But to be nobody is very comfortable. It's very nice. Nobody bothers you. And to have no money, it's very comfortable because everybody goes, this is useless. He will not give you any money, so it's a use. So it's very nice. You can just sit and speak about Krishna. And you can just be with those who want to know about Krishna. Not about money, not about fame. And this is actually a warning to anybody who comes to this movement. This is not the International Society for Fame, Name, Glory, Money, Business. Wrong place. Wrong place. If you want these things, there is a whole society for you. Please, be my guest. Yeah? If you want to become rich, we used to laugh at people who were going, you are going out selling these books, collecting money. We're going, are you joking? If I really want to make money, you think I can make big money with books about God? And most people will immediately agree, yeah, actually. It's not a good business proposal, Yeah? And we still collected lots of money like that. You know what my name was? I got initiated by Prabhupada, and immediately, the next week already, I got the name not Manidhar, I got the name Manidhar, from money. Because I was collecting quite a lot. So that was my second initiation. Manidhar. Because money. Yeah? I just spoke to a devotee, a very nice devotee, who is closely affiliated with the devotees who are managing Vrindavan temple. And he had to share with me the excitement. He said, you know how much money is going through that temple, Vrindavan? Actually, as a matter of any Indian temple. Whoa. Millions. It's unbelievable. Because Indians are pious, so much money. And he said, now there is a crew of devotees managing in Vrindavan. Senior devotees, experienced managers. Vrindavan is actually the worst place to manage on this planet, you know that? I don't know why Krishna arranged it. People got killed there, this. It's a heavy place. And when money comes, immediately money-interested people show up. Politics. How do I get the money? In India it's funny. The temple president, somebody becomes temple president, the next week his grandmother is a treasurer. The next week his son is a temple commander. They turn it into a dynasty, operation. It can happen. So this devotee was so excited, he said, you know what? There's a crew of senior devotees now. I can mention one name, Shrutakirti Prabhu is a Prabhupada disciple. He's still in it. He said, they have such a standards that nobody can follow. This is amazing. Just the standard, sadhana and everything. And he said, and this team of devotees, when they meet, they never speak about money. Nothing. And they are rolling around with millions of rupees, and they never speak about money. They speak about Krishna and management needed. And actually, he said, you know what the major issue they are discussing? He said, I came close to it. I couldn't believe it. I never heard anything like this before in ISKCON. But you know what they are discussing? How to help devotees. How to help devotees and how to accommodate devotees. He said, that's inspiring. Because I don't want to go more in detail, but money is the honey. Now I had got the blessing. When I came to this movement, nobody had anything. It was a wonderful movement, I tell you. It was really great. Nobody had anything. If you want to become famous, you have to know how to play Mridanga. Then you were famous, because there were not many Mridanga players around. Actually, there were not many Mridangas to start with. Yeah? So, wow, was the Mridanga player. But otherwise, everybody was doing the same. Living the same. Going on a street, distributing books. Same thing. Harinam, the first one, the temple president was out there. And there was a great, great deal of worship, you could call it, to those who joined before me and helped me to join. That was actually why why this respect was there. He was the one actually who brought me to Krishna consciousness. Of course, every leader would say, oh, it was Prabhupada, I'm just talking about Prabhupada. It was a movement where you could do nothing without quoting Prabhupada. You got nothing done. Finished. Anything you did, you have to say, Prabhupada said. It was actually so rampant that Prabhupada had to object. He said, they're always saying Prabhupada said, but I didn't say that. But without quoting Prabhupada, you were finished. The first devotee I met in a temple, when I first time walked in a door, small house, packed with devotees. He was coming running down the stairs. Everybody was running, I don't know, it was just young people, It was a movement, everybody was running. It was not like here when you come in a temple and you go, oh, that's nice, yeah. When I joined this movement, everybody was running. Quite more of passion, yes. But that when you are young, We were all 18, 20 years old kids, So the first devotee running down the stairs, he looked at me and was going, Prabhupada ki jai! And then he ran away. And I was like, who was that? Now, I had some idea who is Prabhupada, but I didn't know what ki jai means. Nobody explained anything to me. Everybody was just running and shouting. And I think, how do I fit into this? And as soon as I joined, which was not immediately, it took me like 2-3 months, but I liked the chanting. So I immediately started to chant. Actually, before I joined this movement, I was chanting 60 rounds a day. I had nothing else to do. And I was just chanting. I was thinking, if God is here and hears it, something has to happen. And it did happen. I just on a certain point just walked out of the door. I knew where the temple is. It was in another town. It was a small local train going. I just got on a train. I had a sleeping bag, old military sleeping bag. It was just the first edition of Bhagavad Gita appeared. I had it with me. And a bead bag. That was all. And I just got on a train. And the conductor came in. Tickets! I said, I don't have any ticket. Hare Krišna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And he looked at me and was going, okay. And he never came back. I was going, hey, it really works. This is amazing. I remember exactly the day I walked in a door and there was one pujari. There was the only one in a temple. Everybody was on Sankirtan. It was on Friday, and there was a small altar with small Hare Krišna deities, Madna Mohan, small. And then, and it was, maybe the name is still remembered here, he was here, Astarata Prabhu. That was him, and he was like, he was really a pujari, all of it. He was the only one who was there. Everybody was gone. It was a very quiet place, small house, very small. So he said, "Oh, Hare Krišna, you came." He knew me from 1-2 times visiting the Sunday feast. "That's very nice. So you will stay here?" And I said, "Yes." "That's very nice. You want some prasadam? But before I give you prasadam, I will show you." Because actually the rule, the pujari rule was, as soon as somebody comes in a temple, they open the curtain. It was not regulated by some time. Because the important thing is that everybody should see Krishna. So, we don't do this nowadays. But, so he opened the curtain. And there was the altar. It was wonderfully decorated with flowers and everything. And then he was standing there, completely happy. And then he closed the curtain and said, "You like them?" And I said, "Who?" I couldn't see one damn thing. My eyes were simply not trained for that. I just saw lots of flowers and, So I ate lots of prasadam, and then he said, "Tomorrow the Sankirtan devotees are coming." I was going to some special devotees. It's called Sankirtan devotees. I don't know. Okay. So I was just sitting there chanting again. I just did only chanting, And the prasadam, of course, was fantastic. Yeah, on Saturday the Sankirtan devotees came back. I never saw anything like this. It was like 20 guys, with some old suitcases, and they just banged in a door. "Sankirtan ki jai!" And everybody was yelling, and I was just, Hare Krišna, Oh my God. It was like an army invading, like this. And they look at me, "Who's this?" "That's the new one." "Ah, Sankirtan ki jai!" And then they yell at me all the time. And I was like, Hare Krišna, Hare Krišna. I came here to meditate, about Krishna, yes. Oh, there was not much meditation time. Like I wondered, I was sitting in a hallway, I wondered why they have one hook next to each other screwed to the wall at the ceiling. I was saying, this is a strange decoration. One hook next to each other screwed like this. I was going, what is this? I soon realized what it is. This was to quickly pull lines back and forth so you can hang the doris over it and when you wash your laundry. So suddenly I found myself in a whole drying room, doris hanging everywhere, and they were so heavy. And I was like, Hare Krišna, And then, of course, it was Germany as well, a little bit special. German, I remember then 2-3 years later when we came first time to England, it was shocking. It was Dhanavya Maharaj. He had one of the biggest bhakta programs established already in Bhaktivedanta Manor. I couldn't believe it. I never saw devotees acting like this. The English way. Haribol Prabhu, please sit down Prabhu. Can we serve you prasadam Prabhu? Is it okay Prabhu? I was going, wow. That's really comforting here. I was really going, that's a really amazing place. Because German way of comforting is to sit down, eat. It's all, commanding, So, that's German comforting, yeah. So that's the movement I joined. So what could I do? 3 days later. Second day, one of the Sankirtan devotees, he came to me and he said, I have a hobby. I said, you have hobbies here? What is your hobby? He said, my hobby is to cut other people's hair. And you look at my hair. So he dragged me in a bathroom. There was a leather belt tied to the heating. And he had this knife, barber knife. And he was going, and I was like a sacrificial lamb, I was just, no soap, no even, dry. He was going, and before I actually got out of the shock, I looked in a mirror, I was going, ah! Actually, if you first time shave your hair, it's if you have the feeling somebody cut off your head, So I was like, ah! That was just the beginning. Next morning, they discovered I have a driving license. Oh, very nice, we have a new driver. They got me in a car and said, you drive. And before that, I thought, actually nobody had a real dhoti. Nobody was in India yet. There was no dhotis. It was all kinds of bed sheets or whatever there, but it looked like dhoti, and it was saffron something. So I got a very special dhoti. It was an orange curtain. Bright orange, like Buddhist, yeah? And it was a good quality. I had it for many years as a brahmachari, orange curtain, So I was dressing in a curtain, like they showed me how to do that. Well, I felt exactly like I have some nappies or something, like babies have nappies, like that. That's how I felt. And then what to dress as a kurta, so they found me some shirt which had pockets actually, but it was too small, So I was squeezing myself into it. Then they put me in a car in the morning, and they were going, Sankirtan ki jai, you're the driver. I was going, okay, I know how to drive a car. So I drove the car to the next town. It was exactly the town I used to live, for some time. So I drove to the town, I parked the car, and everybody jumped out. Sankirtan ki jai! Actually, they didn't jump out. They looked at me like, so? Sankirtan ki jai? And I was going, well, I'm the driver. And the devotee laughed. He said, driver? No, you are the distributor. Get out. And I was going, distributing what? He said, well, books not so good. Magazines. They gave me like this pile of magazines, this big. And they said, go, distribute it. Going, me? Selling something to somebody? I never did it in my life. My whole life I was sitting at home, dreaming, I was a very silent, very shy, and very introverted boy. So suddenly I was out there in an orange curtain, no hair, and with a big pile of magazines I didn't read yet. And they said, Sankirtan ki jai! So they put me on a corner and they left. Before they left, I was screaming, what shall I say? How shall I sell this? They said, you go to people, give it to his hand, and you say, we are monks, we are coming from India. There are many hungry children in India. So give donation for hungry children in India. Very dangerous and very stupid mantra. And I said, but I never was in India. They said, shut up, this is a mantra. I was going, oh, now it's another mantra. I had the Hare Krišna mantra, now I have this. And they left me there. Boop. And the car disappeared. And I was standing there in this orange curtain. Now, I don't know why the wind is always blowing from this side, So I was like, there were some schoolgirls coming around. They were going, ah! And they were laughing. Because nobody ever saw much of a devotee at that time in Germany, It was not not at all a common sight. There's a madman with an orange curtain standing on a corner with no hair. It was like, and he has something painted on a face. It was, people call police, There's a madman here. But somehow nobody called police. I was just standing there, The wind was always like, And then I knew I had to get rid of these magazines. So I selected grandmothers, old ladies, because they look so harmless. So I was going to this old lady's, hello, bitte schön, hello, hello. And they were like, oh, who is this? We are monks, we are coming from India. There are many hungry children in India, And somehow they took it. It was cheap, it was one magazine, one Deutschmark, I remember. So, and I kind of kept on going from one person to the other, like floating around. It was like a dream. I said, maybe I died somewhere in between. Maybe this is another lifetime, I don't know. It didn't feel real whatsoever. I was going, but I knew one thing, no, I'm not going to go back again to be artist, sitting in some flat and dreaming. No, I'm not going to do that. I would rather die here. No. It's a strange thing, but no, I will not do that. So let's see how it goes. And I was thinking, if there is God, if there is Krishna, he must see it. And if I'm in the wrong place doing the wrong thing, he will show me. That much I could understand. So I was going from one person to the other, forgetting to chant, forgetting everything. I was like, and somehow the magazine went out, and it was in a late afternoon, the car appeared again. And I had no more magazines. I had problem where to put these coins, Fortunately, the shirt had a pocket like this. So I had a pocket like this, full of coins, And the devotees parked the car and they were going, Hare Sankirtan Krishna! Where are the magazines? I don't know. I sold them all. They're going, really? That was 100 magazines. I said, they're all gone. I was so gone, I didn't even chant. When I saw the devotees, I was going, good evening. And they were like, what do you mean, good evening? Hare Krishna! I was going, oh, yeah, okay, I'm now Hare Krishna. I have to chant. Hare Krishna, okay, yeah, sure. And they got me in a car and they said, where's the money? And I said, well, here. They're going, oh. And they took me and they emptied me like a money bag like this. They emptied my pockets. And we drove short distance to the temple. I remember getting out of that car. I felt still like in a dream. But the temple president, he came running down the stairs. He was going, how was the new one? They're going, well, he did 100 magazines in 4 hours. He looked at me with some kind of incredibly smile. And he said, hey, he is a Sankirtan devotee. It was almost non-vegetarian how he looked at me, like... So, and from there on, I hardly ever saw a temple. I was 15 years just in advance, I must have collected some damage there, because as soon as I'm in a van, I sleep better, I eat better. I'm completely. Even today, I have a van out there. I drive 1,000 kilometers a day. I'm completely okay. There must be something, something happened there. And when I drive in Germany and I know the exits, I know the highways, I know the parking places. I can tell you exactly in which German town is the best place to distribute. I was 15 years on the road there. This was my home. The cars were our homes. Temple was something you go in, it's a weekend, you pack the car, you wash the car, prepare it for the next week. And then, of course, Saturday night, huge kirtans. We had 3-hour kirtans. We had such a kirtan leaders. You can sometimes maybe hear recordings, Hansa Tuta, that was our hero, He didn't need even any amplification. He was singing so high, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And he could dance for 6 hours. No problem. I remember after kirtans, you cannot imagine, the Mridangas were bloody. They had to wash the Mridanga always, because they were bloody. All Mridanga players had cracked up fingers. They were bandaging them with industrial tapes, like this. Because it was endless going on and on and on. And after every kirtan, somebody joined again. It was like, just by this chanting. There was no other programs. There was no congregation, nobody knew what that is. Grihastha ashrama, nobody knew what is this. You mean you have a white dhoti, like you died or I don't know what. Nobody could relate to it. We were all brahmacharis, just. And then there was some brahmacharinis, 15 brahmacharinis. But they were like from another planet. There was no contact. They had completed their own, and they were actually managed by the wife of the temple president, who was the only grihastha. But actually he lived like a sannyasi. That was the Vanashram Dhamma those days. And I have to say, his wife, she really trained his girls very nice. They were better trained like we. Brahmachari was a little bit a wild crew. I asked my temple president, what shall I eat on Sankirtan? He said, buy yourself a pretzel. This is a German kind of bread, you buy yourself and that's it. I said, but how can I offer on Sankirtan when I'm traveling this? He said, you hold it like this on the head and you go Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. And it's offered. I was going, oh, that's simple, yeah, I can do that. Oh, if I would tell you the early days, what we did in these vans, it's so bizarre. It's really today like a comedy when I speak about this. Then one devotee, we were reading some books, okay? So we were reading that Krishna is accepting the prasadam through the mouth of a brahmana. So the devotee concluded, well, we are all brahmanas. Of course, occasionally we beat each other and we beat people, but otherwise we are brahmanical, So, so as we are brahmanas, Krishna is eating through our mouth. So we don't have to offer anything, just eat it. Krishna is already eating through a brahmanical mouth. That was one speculation. Another devotee, he came, he said, no, we cannot buy anything. This is materialistic. This is offensive. We can only beg. We are monks, we can beg. So we used to go every evening, door to door. Please, we are hungry monks. You have some food? And actually commies, they are like, well, sure, yeah. They opened the fridge and there was the chicken and there was the yogurt and there was anything. So, so we emptied out of the... But then this mixed boga, it was not so good. Then another one got the idea, well, you know what? Early in the morning, some of the first places which are open in a town, everywhere, is the bakeries. Because, people go and buy bread for the breakfast. So they have a very early shift. They start to bake already 4 o'clock in the morning or something like this. So that was our time. We were going bakery to bakery, knocking on the door. Excuse me, we are hungry monks. You don't have some bread left over from yesterday? And they do have a bread from yesterday, always. They gave us so much bread and different kinds of bread. But then another devotee discovered something much better. The same time opened the sweet shops because they are baking cakes. That's a higher level. So we switched from bakeries to sweet shops. Excuse me, we are hungry monks. There is some old cake here, and they do have old cakes. But of course we knew no eggs, okay? And we asked them, are there eggs inside? And they go, no eggs, just take it. We didn't investigate further. The result was, in the morning, after we chanted our rounds, and there was some lecture, and then there was prasadam, which was consisting only from cakes. All kinds of cakes. And you find sometimes in a park, early morning, it's already warm, summertime, one bench, one brahmachari, surrounded by cakes. Yeah? We must have been completely intoxicated, because when you eat like 3 big cakes like this in the morning, you are full of sugar, and then you go on Sankirtan. This is what we did. Up to the point where Hare Krišna came to Germany after like 3 years, 2.5 years of this. It's a long story, but our leader had to depart and everything, and then Hare Krišna came in, straight from Prabhupada, being his personal servant. He was shocked. He said, what are you doing here? You eat this on Ekadashi? We were going, what is Ekadashi? Nobody knew until then what Ekadashi even is. you know. So he was really shocked. He said, finished, all of it, immediately. Every car got a kitchen. We were going, kitchen in a car. It's like getting married, you know. You know, wow. Yeah, kitchen in a car, that was followed. He forbade us even kami spaghetti, everything. Just bang, 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 bang. We're going, what shall we eat? And then the cooking started. Kitri and everything. That was new to me after 2.5 years in Krishna consciousness. I knew the Sunday feast, that was big. But during the week we were eating anything. I remember devotees, one of my godbrothers, these names nobody knows anymore. He just liked only cans. He was always opening some cans, you know, with some vegetarian stuff, but very strange. You know, he had some very special taste, you know. Another godbrother of mine, he liked sugar, like anything. And he didn't bother to eat some cake. He was eating sugar straight from the package, always like this, you know. I mean, one after another, it was extreme, it was really extreme. That was the first two years on Sankirtan like that. And then Hare Krišna came, he changed everything. And then we actually start to follow some rules and regulations, yes. So to conclude the issue here, Krishna says, everybody has to follow some duty, we cannot avoid it. Impossible. And if you don't serve dutifully Krishna, we will serve dutifully Maya. And Maya is a quite heavy program. It's heavy service. And the result of the service to Maya, you die. And that's it. Even you did something nice, it's gone. But then you do something for Krishna, in line of Krishna's duty, it is eternally preserved. That's amazing. It never goes in vain. And Krishna is so grateful. And he says here, I don't have to be grateful, I don't need anything of this. You know, I'm Atma Rama, Krishna is so satisfied, I don't need anything of this. But he is so grateful, even for the smaller service. And this gratefulness was reflected in a personality of Srila Prabhupada. It was heartbreaking how grateful Prabhupada was. You listen to some of his Vyasa Puja lectures. On his Vyasa Puja, Prabhupada make like an inventory sometimes, remembering how he started and, you know. And one Vyasa Puja, he is saying, I can never repay you what you have done for me. And then he breaks down, he cannot continue, he's crying. It's all mercy of Krishna. So this is the great gratitude, you know. This is one of the most essential ingredients of Krishna consciousness. Should be grateful that we can sit here, grateful that we can live here, you know, grateful we have some option to this world out there, which is dominated simply by a dull type of sense gratification. I mean, I tell you, in Krishna consciousness, you stop even understanding what are they really enjoying here. Where's the enjoyment? I mean, practically spoken. You go, people drinking alcohol, is this enjoyment? No. It's all poison and it's deadly and it's damaging. It's amazing. They think they are this body, this is the best thing they have, my body. But they are destroying it by enjoying it. And we know we are not this body. And I tell you quite frankly, I find myself in situations sometimes very enjoyable. I always remember what Krishna told to Arjuna. You have to follow your duty, fight this battle, win the battle for me, and enjoy the kingdom. We stated in Bhagavad, Arjuna, enjoy the kingdom. You may think, what? Krishna is encouraging Arjuna to become a hedonist or what? No. Krishna doesn't mind us to enjoy at all. But with him and without attachment. That's actually what Krishna really minds. Don't get attached. Otherwise, enjoy. Why not? Enjoy, have it. But of course, Krishna knows how quickly we get attached, so he doesn't give us very much. He's very, very careful, like a careful father, careful. That's the reason why we don't get so much. And we see that the devotees who get much, even in a line of preaching, that's dangerous. Dangerous. To remain being detached, always understanding it's from Krishna to Krishna. Yeah, it's easy to talk about it when you have nothing, but when it starts to pile up and you get things, you may start to think, well, look, I did it. I'm good, I'm good. I'm good. Very dangerous thought. As a wonderful devotee is being corrupted like this, it's not fun to look at it. When you think, I did. Big. No. And this is what we never saw in Prabhupada. Prabhupada was like a transparent media. You knew exactly, you give something to Prabhupada, it goes to Krishna immediately. Prabhupada immediately, it was like passing through. When Prabhupada he said it sometimes and intimately, he said, well, I am successful, I can see that. I'm successful. And so maybe I'm getting a little bit too proud, isn't it? Just the attitude. He asked his disciples, what do you think? I'm getting proud, huh? Because we are so successful. Maybe I got a little proud. And the devotees were like, Jai! Wow! Because proud person doesn't talk like this. Proud person thinks, of course, yeah, I did it, that's mine. Of course, naturally. How can you dare to doubt my greatness? Huh? Vaishnava Aparat. My answer is always, well, let's first examine who is a Vaishnava, then we can talk about Aparat. Because Vaishnava never thinks like this. Rather, he is more and more overpowered by the flow of mercy coming from his spiritual master and from Krishna. Just overpowered, speechless. Look at this here. I can take different positions. So I can sit there in a chair and watch this Manidhar talking. It's a joke. How did I get into this? What did I do for that? What is my achievement? What am I talking about? I have no idea. I didn't invent this. I didn't design this. If somebody would tell me 60 years ago that one day I will sit in Ljubljana dressed like this and talking like this, I will slap him in the face. I was saying, the man is intoxicated. It's impossible. What is this to do with my life? But now I'm sitting here and I do enjoy myself. Yeah, I have to admit, this is the real enjoyment. I can go like this until midnight. It's really fun. How this happened? What? It's only because of him. Prabhupada gave me this life. And he made this out of me. Actually, he didn't make it. He just showed me who I really am. Therefore, it feels quite natural, yeah. Yeah. If I would go out there and try again to be what I was, that feels very unnatural. I was artist. I was day and night writing, painting, dreaming. Nowadays, I can still draw things, yeah, I can paint things, yeah, I see things. I recognize a good artist when I see him, but when I touch it, after 5 minutes, I'm done. I go like, yeah, okay. And I can hear Prabhupada going, don't you have anything more important to do? I go, yeah, actually there are more important things as this. But I'm not criticizing any artists. There are, Prabhupada loved artists actually. But I can never be as good as they are. And even the artists in ISKCON, I could say something about that. Because I was in an early stage, as an artist coming to the movement, the paintings were horrible. From artistic point of view, a friend from the art academy came to me with me once to the temple, and immediately he noticed this first edition of German Krishna book. The paintings, I mean, whatever you can do wrong as an artist, that's in that painting. The anatomy, nothing makes sense. You can hardly see if it's a Mother Yashoda. It looks the same. It's really so unprofessional. So he was like, what is this? And the devotee sitting next to me was going, these paintings are transcendental. And he was just laughing and he walked out of the door. I never saw him again. You know, an artist. So I was also thinking, yeah, these paintings are a little bit strange, but yeah, that's not the essence of life. I am in association of the most happy people I met in my life. And that's much more important. So I put it all aside. I was chanting and staying with devotees. And after some time, I saw very good. I was going, oh, this is nicely painted. This is professionally painted. Who painted that? You know who was that? The same girl who was painting the first painting before. I was going, don't tell me this is Jadurani. Don't tell me this is Parikshit. This was the early devotees. And they said, no, this is him. I said, how did he improve like this? They got empowered. They got empowered and very serious in what they were doing. And, so I was going, but this is amazing. You don't see it normally in artists are gifted people. They were always gifted from the very early days. But in Krishna consciousness, you can go, 2 years later you are painting wonderful paintings. How is that possible? Because they were empowered. So, so that alone gave me some faith that actually by surrendering to a spiritual master, a blind man can see stars in the sky. Lay man can end up being dancing. Man who never spoke recites poetry. You think, oh, this is some encouraging statements, isn't it? No, I saw that happening. Who's me to sit here? Come on. When I see the picture of Manidhar, I go, who is this? Sorry. You will find on my webpage, there is only one photo of Manidhar I really like. That photo was taken 1 hour after I got initiated by Prabhupada in Germany. I'm 18 years old. I have a garland from Prabhupada hanging around my neck. And I have still Prabhupada's books in my hand because I was already 2 years on Sankirtan before I got initiated. And I stand there on a wall, completely in bliss. So that Manidhar I like. I'm completely covered with Prabhupada's mercy. That photo is so outrageous, that where I found the photo? In an apartment.